Hello everybody and welcome back to Guys on Gaffr. My name is Joel, Abhishek and David are both here, and it's our first Super League episode of the season. We didn't manage to do any in pre-season. We prioritised the championship, But we are going to do some Super League chat tonight. In the championship episode, do check it out if you haven't seen it. We have a championship episode out that we have been recording just now. And in that episode I asked how you guys are. Give me the 20 seconds version, because everyone who's seen that episode will have seen this. But, you know, there might be other people who haven't seen the championship episode and want to know how you are. Go, David.
First week of master's degree. It's busy but fun. And it's good to be back podding again. It's been a long time, actually. So it's nice talking to you guys again. I'm glad we can still do this, even though it's not like every week. But it kind of never was anyway. But yeah, it's good. It's good. And the Super League will be fun to talk about.
It will. It's been eventful.
Yeah.
Abhishek.
Take it light.
Yes.
Yeah, a bit under the weather, as it's, but yeah, overall has a decent start in the Super League game. So really happy about it. Really happy to talk about it as well, and put David onto more misery by talking about his games.
We're just gonna.
Can't wait.
We're just gonna laugh at him for an hour.
Let's hold up to pointing. Oh no!
Sure.
How are you guys doing?
I can sense this going off the rails already. My very brief version is I'm good. I have just come back from Paris, where I went to the Paralympics, saw 4 sessions. Some GB golds, went to Roland Garros, which was amazing as a tennis fan. Yeah, all around very good weekend. And Super League is going to be fun to talk about as well. I'm looking forward to it. I've had a good start, which is nice. But let's
really good start.
Yeah, well, let's get into it. Abhishek, your Game Week 3 score is up. Why don't you tell us how you did in Game Week 3 and how the season started overall? Because obviously there's been a double game week already.
Yeah, I think in terms of the starts, I think I am in a decent position. Although I haven't, I'm yet to break into the top 100 mark, but it's understandable because a lot of people have played 2 boosts already. Likewise in Gaffr, they have played 2 boosts already in Super League. So yeah, I mean, this week it's another 100+ week after I played. This is this first double game week of the Super League, so happy to have decent return. Is this the first double game week of the Super League? Probably it is, right?
In Game Week 2 it was, yeah. Obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's not double game week, but in a single game week, 100+ score, it's always good, decent enough. I think I've kind of expected points, one unexpected, because I did not expect Del Castillo to score 10 points. I mean, although they played against Saint Etienne, I probably think he's gonna score, but I'm not expecting. I was not expecting a good haul from him. Griezmann got 9 points. He was my vice. Bosley got 9 points. Liverpool was brilliant against United. Woods got a goal as well. He's back-to-back goals in 2 games. Mbappe got a brace, but should have been Vinicius Junior. So all those Vinicius Junior owners, sorry, lads. It's the personal choice of a man to give him the penalty, to give him a free goal. You can't blame Mbappe for that. But yeah, Mbappe with the brace. Lautaro, after missing for 2 games due to injury, is back once again. But he didn't do anything. It was a Thuram show against Atalanta. So hopefully he gets his scoring boots on. And Rome got 3 points. Barcelona kept a clean sheet. A decent start Barcelona has in the season, so hopefully it continues. And the 2 superstars in the defense, Gutierrez of Girona, he's continuing his form from last season, and Di Gregorio, Juventus goalkeeper. Juventus has been solid at the back, so maybe one to watch out in terms of defensive options
How expensive
as
is
the
he?
Eurostar. 6 million.
Oh, okay.
So he's a set and forget keeper kind of player. So Juventus has been defensively solid under Motta. They will be defensively solid. So it kind of had to maybe double up on Juve sooner rather than later once the season kicks on in full flow. And the last one is Demirovic. He got benched after scoring for 2 games back to back. Don't know why he was benched, but Undav and him are the decent maybe are going to be decent options from Stuttgart, the newcomers from Super League. Mendes had a flu, that's why he was on the bench. He did not. He did not start. He started, but he had an issue. He had flu, that's why he did not start in the game. Hopefully, he gets fit over the international break. And I have once again, I have bench points. Pavlovic with a goal.
Yeah, that's unlucky. You're right to mention him, it's fine.
Yeah, AC Milan defensively hasn't been fine, so it was justifiable to put him on third, but only he would have scored in the early parts of the game. So yeah, so 101 points. That's game week rank of 132. So that and my overall after 3 game weeks is 174th. I am overall. In terms of game week 2, I played the Euro Stars boost, which fetched me around 154 points. So I'm happy with that. The main point scorers were, I guess, Words. The main point scorers were Words, Griezmann, and Gutierrez as well. So these are the main Eurostar point scorers for my team in game week 2. I think I had Rom with a single game in a single game he scored 10 points, so that doubled up to 20 points. So Rom, Griezmann, Gutierrez, Balde, Di Gregorio, Woods are the main scorers for me on the Eurostars team that I played on game week 2. Yeah, that's me.
All right, David, let's have a look at your stellar start, hey?
I was hoping I would be last, but okay. Right. Bit of a backstory. I and some people in the chat noticed that it was a way to like have a glitch in the game. People do this in Fantasy Premier League sometimes if someone moves to a different club. So it was theoretically it was possible to have 7 players from La Liga, and I was like, "This is amazing! You can have the 3 players for the boost."
And this was
away days.
Alvarez and Olmo because of their moves,
Yeah, so you could have like 5 and then those 2 as well, because Gaffr didn't even update their clubs until like game week 2.5, I think. But yeah, so
technically I was on his holidays.
Yeah, and like that was a bad thing for me, because I kept like making transfers for like making up for lost time. But anyway, yeah, so I was like setting up my team for this while everyone else was like doing a Eurostars, like you should have been doing, because that was the right play. So yeah, it was so bad.
He's lost for words.
Here's David's away day in game week 2. Was it game week 2 you played the away days? Yeah.
No.
Or game week 1?
It was in game week 2 actually. So yeah, I got Olmo in the first game. He didn't even start. He got some points in the second game, and Vinicius Junior. But like Mbappe was a disappointment. Alvarez, all my like away midfielders, single game week defenders I got just like to fill out the team. They didn't get any points, and I took a like hit for like I got in Thiago, who didn't even start because I don't know why. Bellingham didn't play because he was injured. And I was like my most expensive player. Like I got a Mavi in for him.
Oh no!
Oh dear.
So it's like more funny than sad, but I was like really frustrated at one point. And like I got Gutierrez, but of course I sold him because I got 88 points on the way this. It was like a game week rank of 466 because everyone else got points for Eurostars. But anyway, so to like mitigate this, I played Overhaul this week, and I kind of feel like it has worked out okay.
That's a good score. Yeah, that's a good overhaul.
Yeah, I got 107 points. Game week 1, beginning with rank 76. And I changed my team quite a bit. But I think the best thing I did was getting Haaland and captaining him for his 42 points. I don't know how many have him instead of Mbappe from like reserves from Eurostars and things. So
I think
also,
his ownership will now go skyrocket.
Yeah, so I was happy that I was like early on him, and also have Kane, which I'm happy about. Olmo got starting again, and Grimaldo is like one of the ones that I was like really keen on having because I wanted one of him or Frimpong, because I don't think people have the like structure to get them. Yeah, they both scored.
And
I can only have one.
He's going to be tough to get to for everyone else as well.
Yeah, so I went early on him, and I'm happy about that because I'm planning to play Eurostars in Game Week 5 on the double, and then so I like set up for that. I think the most fun thing this week was like Nubel getting an assist. We don't get that very often.
Is that what his 5 points is?
Yeah,
that's amazing.
So he has like 3 points for an assist and 1 point for assist. No saves. So he has 5 points.
Standing.
Yeah, it's very cool. And that was purely down to like having to have 15 different players.
Yeah.
I didn't know that Mendes was sick, so I need to do something about that. But
I think probably ahead of the game that he was sick. So
I don't know how he is doing, but I will probably sell him for someone else for Game Week 5. But I'm thinking I'm rolling. It's a bit irritating that I went blind instead of Gutierrez this because I didn't have the money for it, but yeah, could be worse. So yeah, somewhat of a redemption arc, but still, yeah, lost major ground. I just got enough of my horrendous team, and
that 7, that glitch really undid you.
It wasn't a glitch. It was like a system error.
I mean, in the back of your mind, you were always thinking, "I get to own 7 La Liga players. I get to own 7 La Liga players."
Were rubbing their hands together. They were so excited.
Yeah. In reality, I only had 4. So. Yeah, but it's fun to look back at, and I hope I haven't ruined my season. I'm in 353rd at the moment, just considering it's just like 1,000 players. Isn't really good, but Eurostars will be exciting because no one else will play it in that week. So we will see.
You'll get a big bump then, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I've had a cracking start. I did the Away Days 1 over Eurostars 2 strategy, which couldn't have gone any better, really. And I've had some serious good fortune. I mean, one of the things that really unlocked it for me when I was trying to figure out how on earth to do it was when I realised, I know there's one point where I had Guardiola and Salah and Mbappe, and then I realised I could go for Vinicius Jr. and Haaland and someone else in defence. I think I was able to downgrade Guardiola to get a bit of money in, and suddenly I was able to unlock things and then have Jota as my Liverpool player. Like, that was a really key moment, and it just couldn't have gone any better because Haaland went nuts, and he's not going to sustain it, but he has helped me so much with his hat-trick in Game Week 2 on Away Days. And the big highlight of Game Week 3...
You got 220 points, Earl. I didn't know this.
Yes, sorry, yes. There it is. There's my Eurostars. 220 points. I got really lucky with single game week players doing really, really well as well. So yeah, Jota got 9 doubled up to 18. Obviously, Haaland's hat-trick. Vlahovic got a brace. Raum got a 10-pointer doubled up. DiMarco did well. Gutierrez. Everyone apart from Hoffman returned. Even Sorloth, I've got away with having, despite the fact he's now very much not nailed. It was fantastic. It was an incredible game week, 220 points. And my away days was 121 points, so it was like average. But yeah, the Eurostars was incredible. And then I've just followed it up with a fantastic week of 121 points where I captained Rafinha for his 26 points.
That should be the highlight of this season. You have to back 50 plus captain scores. Even though you're on a Eurostar post.
Delighted. I didn't see it as it happened afterwards. I just checked the score. I saw 7-0. I was like, oh, that could be good.
Yeah, I
Sorry,
mean, he's
hat-trick
got 3
and
goals.
assists.
He had 2 assists.
No, one.
That 5 attacking return, 1 assist.
One assist.
4 attacking returns. He get all those performance bonuses that was there for him. And yeah.
Now, I chose
Lanza.
Rafinha for a couple of reasons. But the main reason was because Yamal didn't have much of a pre-season. I thought I wasn't 100% sure he'd start, and I really didn't want to be taking any risks with my strategy, with my boosts. Now, turns out I was wrong about Yamal, and he did, or rather, it turns out he did start. And that 2 million saving is probably why lots of people probably understandably went for him, and I may well have done that if I knew he was going to start. But Rafinha's underlying numbers were better than Yamal's last season. So I was very comfortable going for Rafinha over Yamal in the sense of his like pedigree as an asset. It was just annoying that like it meant I was a bit more restricted budget wise, and that was the big drawback. But in the end, it went so well, and actually I think he's been more involved than Yamal from what I've seen so far. Yamal's done very well. He's got I think 4 assists. But Rafinha is beating him on most metrics in terms of expected goals, expected assists, chances.
Yeah, I mean, Rafinha is on a mission.
His numbers.
I think there was talk about Rafinha leaving Barcelona for somebody else. I think if they for Inaki Williams, if they would have signed the Inaki from Atletico Bilbao, then I think Rafinha would have left. So I think it has done him a world of good. He now wants to show the Barcelona fans and the club that, I can perform at a higher level. I can perform the way I used to perform for leagues in the Premier League. So I think it's high time he does these type of things.
Yeah. So that game week 3 is, along with the Eurostars, has propelled me to overall rank 7. I benched Gutierrez. He got an assist and a clean sheet. Haven't quite decided whether that was a mistake on my part or whether it was just unlucky. But I mean, I've had plenty of good luck anyway. Like I've been very, very lucky to get to where I am. But if I had started Gutierrez over Amavi or Conte, I'd be over rank 2. It's that close. It's like less than 10 points in it up to second place. So, exciting stuff.
You said luck, but the signs were there. I mean, Rafinha one was a freak. That I give you. That's pure luck. But Haaland one was decent enough because we knew Haaland would have punished.
Back-to-back hat-tricks is luck, though.
Yeah, but against West Ham, you didn't expect it. But against Ipswich, you kind of expected him to score bucket loads of points.
And that's part of the reason why I picked him for that,
Yeah, so you have your decent fantasy knowledge, but Rafinha one was luck. The return that he got,
a mixture of luck and skill, as all top fantasy finishes are. They are a mixture of both.
It's like it's like you're saying you make your own luck. Like you can make good decisions and you have to they have to go in. But if you have some thought behind it, it's like more like.
When will your luck turn in Super League? I had one when I parked the bus and every one of my defenders scored a goal. Joel has his luck this season.
Are you talking about me?
When will you have that sort of luck in Super League?
When I stop picking Norwegian players. And not like think I'm smarter than anyone. But like
Well, there you go. That's how things are going so far. I guess La Liga is probably the best place to go in terms of discussion points because they have their double in game week 5 again. So I think what we've probably sort of figured out now is that Barcelona and Real Madrid are where it's at, and there are lots of good options there. Should we start with Barcelona? So David, you're going to have Olmo, right? Just Olmo.
Yeah.
Because you're in Eurostars.
Yeah, that's true.
This attack is something that you can triple up on, I think. Would you agree?
Yeah. So it's a shame I can't have any more than one. So can I make the mistake again?
Yeah, I mean, Lewandowski.
Could switch it up.
He's had 4 goals and the underlying numbers to boot, 4.3 xg. Rafinha, 3 goals from 3.1 xg. Almost scored 2 goals in a game and another half an hour. A game and a bit. And Yamal has had a goal and 4 assists. This front four is electric. They're so good.
Yeah. Would you change Olmo and Rodrigo for someone cheaper and Rafinha on the Eurostars in 5? Or is the Barcelona game much better?
At that price, Olmo is fantastic, I think.
Yeah, it's just very cheap. So it's the discussion if it's value versus, because it's almost a 4 million saving.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd probably keep Olmo.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, it's crazy. They're doing so well.
Yeah.
But have their matchups been easier, or are they just good?
Well, this was the easiest one. I think, were they playing against a team that just come up? Real Valladolid? Had they just come up, or were they... I can't remember.
They are a mainstay, aren't they? They are mid-low table team.
Either way, it was a green fixture, very much so.
Yeah.
But their 2 games in double are, he says as the fixtures load, Villarreal away, which isn't easy at all, and Getafe at home, who I think they have 3-0 draws, I think I heard the other day. So I guess they are potentially up against some meaner defences, to be fair. But I think people need to consider Rafinha. It's not just points chasing, the underlying numbers are there as well. I do think he could justify the price difference over Yamal. You shouldn't sell Yamal, but maybe you could get both. I think you could definitely get both. And I think that hat-trick will make people take note. And maybe some people will try and get him in. It's just 10.5 could be quite an awkward price point for people, I guess.
Yeah, this game is very different. They have so many premiums. So you have to prioritize. But it could be a very worthwhile prioritization.
I think in terms of from Barcelona's point of view, I think almost stands out due to price points. But I think I may have edged it towards Yamal being the pick of the bunch. I mean, Yamal seems to be the more consistent point scorer than Olmo and Rafinha. Granted, Olmo only played a game and a half, and Rafinha has the underlying numbers. But I think Yamal edges both of them out. But the problem is he has that 2.5 million, 2 million, I think, or 1.5 million more than Olmo. And I think
the price is the big thing there. The price difference is the big thing.
Going to be a big issue. But going into a different way, I think we can own Barcelona, 3 players from Barcelona, or 2 players from Barcelona. If we have the likes of Koundé or Balde, if we own, then I think doubling up or tripling up with Olmo and him for this upcoming double game week can be a decent option, because they have a really decent enough double game week.
I think two is minimum. I think they are looking very good.
I think when you're talking about Barcelona assets, with everyone else in your team being very expensive, it should be more up to team structure, because if you're looking at, for example, Yamal versus Olmo in that 8 million to 6 million position, you likely have more expensive players around. So then I would pick Olmo just because of the price difference. If you're looking at the premium, and you're comparing to Rodrigo or Vinicius, then I would say that Rafinha is more in the discussion. The question is if you should switch around funds to get Rafinha and just ignore the others to double up or something. It's I would be more inclined to going Olmo and Rafinha than expensive Real Madrid guy and Yamal, for example.
Yeah, and I think another question mark is what do you do in terms of premium strikers? Like, if you have a Haaland or an Mbappe, I mean, particularly if you're not already on Mbappe, because I don't see why you'd sell Mbappe if you haven't. But let's say you're on Haaland, like, do you maybe want to downgrade Haaland to enable that? Or do you go from Haaland to Lewandowski? Like, yeah, a lot does kind of hinge on what you want to do with that forward position, I think, in terms of money.
Yeah, I would say Haaland is not... He's very cheap in this game, I would say. And for that reason, I wouldn't sell him, because he can like do anything every week. But he probably won't like be this consistent. But at the same time, he's probably the most consistently well-performing striker in the world at the moment, to be honest. So just being able to have him and Mbappe and someone else, he shouldn't be the one making way, in my opinion. I could understand selling mid or maybe Kane in my case, but like, yeah,
you're giving me something to think about here, David, because I might have to sell him. I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't advise you doing that, because I know it's a bit like I think it's a trap in Super League to like emphasize the players that are not from the Premier League, because you like have them in the other games, and you like want to be a bit you want to have the more pieces of the cake in your team, because it's a more league system. But I wouldn't like think about that. Just
the problem to me, I think what I can say, because there are 4 options in that price bracket, because Harry Kane, Kylian Mbappe, Erling Haaland, and Lewandowski. And if we are talking about the season run-in, I'm much more inclined towards going either Kane or Haaland in that respect, rather than going towards the Spanish one, especially once the Champions League starts. You never know with the rotation basis. That's going to be a crucial one coming forward once the Champions League starts, because rotation will be heavier. And we have seen with Ancelotti then that he will rest his players on the league matches just to get a perfect night out for the Champions League. So in terms of, Barcelona, in that sense, Barcelona doesn't have Champions League, I guess, or does he? Oh, they have, right?
Of course they do, yeah.
Yeah, they have.
Every team in this game has got Champions League.
Yeah, so yeah, my mistake. Yeah, so you have to, because Haaland is very rotation prone. Guardiola does it. Ancelotti also rotates his squad really well. One man that sticks out will start week in, week out, even in Champions League and in Bundesliga, is Harry Kane. So in the long run, Harry Kane seems to be the logical option at that price bracket. But I think short term, you may work for 2-3 weeks with Lewandowski, with Haaland, with Mbappe, then switch it around. But I think Kane sticks out for that price bracket.
I do think Champions League obviously provides more of an issue for Lewandowski. Like, his minutes could be impacted, because he is 35 maybe now, 34, 35. So that
who is it that they will play instead of him?
I'm not sure actually. Victor or something. I don't really know what they do.
Torres? No,
they have Ferran Torres.
They could play Ferran Torres.
But he's not been good.
Torres.
He hasn't been that good, I think.
They have a great out and out striker option, but yeah. Anyway, let's touch a little bit on Real Madrid, as you kind of mentioned. Mbappe started slowly, but has finally kind of come to life with two goals at the weekend. There are people talking about selling him, and just don't, right? They've got in their double, they've got Espanyol, newly promoted team, and Alaves. Like, you've got to be holding him, right?
Yeah, for me, he's a hold. That's for sure. I don't hear the noises whether to sell Mbappe, especially in this game, because if I sell him, who would I want to go him that has a decent amount of fixtures or that fits perfectly to my plan? He has the best double up. If I am on a boost strategy, I would want to have players that have the best double up. I'm not boosting, even though Gaffr boosts perform well in single game week matches, but Real Madrid played two of the most weaker sides this season. So surely, and with the Champions League haven't started yet, surely he starts both the matches.
Oh yeah.
He unlike Griezmann and Simeone, where he rotates every week. So he will start both the matches, and I think he will. I mean, that's a reason to not sell him. But hey ho,
I was
players
I was just looking at if I could get him into my team instead of Rodrigo. So I took out a mid and my 4.5 million striker. And I think putting Mbappe in had 0.5 million bank for a midfielder.
Yeah.
So that's not happening. Rodrigo it is.
I'm not sure Rodrigo's... I don't love Rodrigo as a pick. I don't love it.
The story keeps going.
Vinicius is so much better. How much is Rodrigo?
9.5.
So 1.5 million up to Vinicius.
Okay,
he should start. He should start, but he seems a little bit.
You sold 9.5 million mid, and you sold a 4.5 million mid, and Mbappe's price is 13.5 million.
Yeah.
Math.
Yeah, Rodrigo should be fairly safe, but he did get benched in one of the games recently, didn't he? I think so. Yeah. I don't know.
Kane out for him, I guess, and Rodrigo out for someone.
Yeah. Militao at 5 million as well, by the way. Absolute steal.
Yeah. Yeah, Militao. I mean, with Eurostars out of the way, I certainly can double up. I mean, Militao seems like a cheat code. We're playing cheat code with Real Madrid defense. Everyone is higher priced than him, and he starts all the games. He's getting the points, clean sheets as well, and he's a threat in either side of the boxes as well. So with his headers, so yeah, he's a decent option, a decent way to double up.
Atletico Madrid have Rayo Vallecano and Celta Vigo as their 2 double games, which is not too bad.
None of the players are fixed, apart from Oblak. No, Musso started. And none of the players are nailed to start.
Basically,
every one of them is rotation.
Sørloth is a sell. I've gotten away with it so far. Sørloth is a sell. He will start some games, but he's going to be rotated. Alvarez could be rotated. I think the only options are Griezmann and Lenormand, personally. Lenormand as a 4.5 million Atletico defender, that's great. So
he has started every game, right? Lenormand has started. Yeah, he's the only one.
He's a cracker. He's like the standout 4.5 million defender for me. And then Griezmann should be the most nailed of their attackers. Anyone else that I may have missed?
Nah, too much rotation. I mean, 1 week you can take a punt on him. I mean, Atletico Madrid side is becoming a punty option in Super League game. You don't know who will start. You just pick. I mean, hopefully Atletico Madrid, we get to see the lineups once at least in this season, because we have later deadlines in this game. So hopefully we can see an Atletico Madrid lineup and then punt. Get a punt on some guy.
Yeah. Girona. Gutierrez is okay to hold, but you're not buying anyone, are you?
No, Saigankov is the only guy that I will keep an eye on. They started decently. They have decent double against Valencia and Rayo Vallecano, so they have a decent double up. But it's the game after the international break that will make me feel that Girona is a team and it's not a one-season wonder. So hopefully they can perform well against Barcelona and we get to see another different option. But Saigankov is an option that I will keep him on my watch list, apart from Gutierrez.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Girona cope with Champions League football soon. They may well regress quite considerably. We'll see. Let's swing around the other leagues briefly. and just cover off any kind of key points, I guess. So, Serie A. What can we talk about with Serie A? I mean, obviously they've got their double in game week 9, so they're going to be of interest. Who has stood out to you? Are there any people that have emerged as options to you that maybe weren't obvious before? Obviously, we all know Lautaro Martinez and Thuram are great options, for example, for Inter. But any other observations for Serie A?
I think we can say that Inter and Juventus are the team to target for the upcoming doubles in 9, because because the rest of the two, Atalanta hasn't had a decent start. They hasn't had a decent squad. Because everyone is leaving the club, new signings are there, they need time to gel. And I think apart from Atlanta and Milan are yet to see the Milan of old. So if you're looking for game week 9 double, I think Inter and Juventus should be your priority. At least 3 or 4 players out of the 5 players that we can own. And depending on the form of AC Milan and Atalanta, you can pick any one to complete the quota of 5.
Yeah. David, have you got any thoughts on any of the Serie A teams?
Well, I have talking about Juventus. You have a 4.5 defender that's starting, Cabal. I think that's very decent.
Yep.
I did look at the 5.5 guy, but I don't know how he's done since
the attacker.
Yeah,
Yildiz, yeah, not much in terms of returns. A couple of assists.
Yeah. Right.
Maybe.
Okay. Yeah. No, I don't know. It's always like this. I don't feel we ever have good midfielders for Inter, but are there anyone now? Barella is a bit cheap, I guess, but he's not really an attacker.
No.
I'm surprised to see Thuram doing this well, but he's actually not that much cheaper than Martinez, so they actually pass him well.
Is he 9, Thuram?
9.2 now, he's gone up a bit, but Martinez is 9.5. We thought he would be a bit too cheap with that price tag, but actually Thuram is up there as well.
Interesting.
And now people have DeMarco as well, I think, but
yeah, the thing with DeMarco is he's often getting subbed off just before that second half clean sheet. It's happened twice. He got subbed off
really?
On like 73 minutes or something. And it's like, no. But he didn't at the weekend. He played the full, I think he played the full 90 at the weekend against Atalanta, but in the games before that, again, in the easier fixtures, he was getting subbed off.
Yeah, I just read in the chat and someone talked about Cambiaso and then someone said after that he was moving. Is that true, or is it just?
Not
is
sure.
he a good one?
Not sure.
Do you know, Abhishek?
I haven't heard anything about moving Cambiaso. Maybe because I think haven't had any news about Cambiaso moving to any other club. But
okay, so
whether he starts regularly now remains to be seen, because a lot of injured players are coming back. But the one guy that has gone, it's Thiago Giallo from Juventus. He has left, so Cambiaso might start after all.
Yeah,
but
one thing I'm wondering about is you talked Bremer up very much before the season. How is he done?
He has done decently in so far, I guess.
17 points.
In 4 games. Gregorio has 25 points. He has 17 points in 4 games each. So if you own the double up, that's what, 40 points, close to. But granted, they are on the other side of 6 million. Both are 6 million. So yeah, that's 12 million. That's 12 million intact from your budget. But the rest assured, they will get you double clean sheets, because Juventus under Thiago Motta is defensively astute. They will dug out 0-0s and they will score 1-0 winners. So he is a defense first manager. So their defensive, sooner rather than later, the defensive will start to get those performance bonus, the save points, etc.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. A couple of the bits that I would mention on Serie A, Vlahovic at 7 million, I'm convinced is a bargain. I'm really happy to have him. He's not going to score every game, but I do think he's a very, very good pick at that price. The rest of the Juventus attack is quite interesting with the new signings they've made, so I think it's one to keep an eye on with their lineups. With Coop Miners being signed, Nico Gonzalez, they've got a lot of different players who could play, so just keep an eye on that.
Another Portuguese midfielder as well.
Conceição, is that?
I mean, Vlahovic is safe for starts.
Yeah.
Because there is no other replacement. I mean, Milik is there, but he's injured at the moment. I mean, he is not. So he will start. It's the midfielder options that remains to be seen. Coop Miners seem to be guy who will take all those set pieces and possibly penalty duties as well.
And they're all quite cheap as well, so one of them may emerge as quite a good option. And then I guess in terms of Atalanta as well, like Lookman didn't end up leaving, I don't think, in the end. So at 6.4, he could be someone who becomes an option as well at some point because he's very good. And Retegui, I don't know if I said that name correctly, but the striker at 6.1. If he's looking nailed with Scamacca out, obviously there is always a bit of an issue with the rotation with Atalanta, but he could well be a standout player. He's already got a few goals, 28 points already. I'm not sure how many goals it is, but he's done very, very well. So he's a potential budget striker at 6.1 there.
But who's Mbangula? He's got 26 points.
Yeah, he started. I don't think he's going to be first choice moving forward, but he did start a couple of games. I mean,
you know what?
I think he's done quite well.
I mean, in terms of from Syria, Atalanta, we are not focusing on Atalanta, but they have one of the best runs till 9. They have Fiorentina at home, new promoted side Como at home, Bologna away, Genoa at home, Venezia away, and Verona and Monza at home on the 9 double. So
it's a good double that
they have
as well.
The next, I mean, before they face Napoli on 10. So up until 9, Atalanta has a decent run. So probably one to look at the players. Probably look when he has a price fall, 0.1 million fall, 6.4. He's now. I mean, goalkeeper, Sa or whoever starts can be a decent option as well in goalkeeper if you are looking for a goalkeeper. And I think Retegui, as Joel mentioned. So these are the options you can look at, certainly.
Cool. Let's switch to the league, the French league, Liga. Briefly, there won't be loads to talk about here, but yeah, what do you reckon, guys? Is there anything that stood out to you so far?
One name, Bradley Barcola. Need to keep an eye on him. He's scoring for fun. He's really looked really good. PSG, I mean, all the attackers of PSG are really free flowing. Even if they come up from the bench, they're scoring 10 points. Even if they they don't need full 90 minutes to score 10 plus points, they're scoring 10 plus points but playing for 20 minutes, 25 minutes. So it's really hard to see. I mean, this will be blueprint at the end of the season, because with the Champions League in, he will rotate every player. But Barcola seems to be the guy that sticks out, I think. Ramos is out injured. So Colomboani seems to be the guy that will be starting at the number 9 position. But he started with 3 wingers in three forward positions. So there is no, and he has benched Colomboani. So Luis Enrique is seemingly playing with a different variety of players, different variety of formations. But yeah, and also I think the Portuguese lad that signed from Benfica, João Neves or João, something João. He seems like a decent option as well.
Yeah, completely agree with all of that. PSG still scoring lots of goals even without Mbappe, and as you say, Barcola seems to be the standout option there. David, did you have anything from the French league?
the only playing for mid 4.0 defender is Mavi. Then he plays for Stad.
Stad Brest.
Yeah.
Brest. Yeah. Yeah, and the other thing, a couple of bits I would mention. Lille, I think, look very good defensively. I can't remember what their numbers were last year. I just remember them being very, very good. And I have their keeper. Obviously, with the keeper bonus, that does incentivise clean sheets more. Although, to be fair, he didn't get any bonus in either of Lille's 2 clean sheets in Game Week 1 and Game Week 2. But they do have like some quite cheap defenders. They've got like Thomas Meunier. There could be a 4.5 option there. Maybe.
He scored a goal this weekend.
Yeah.
Man.
And there's also Zagrova, who could be an alright option in the midfield as well for Lille.
I can just shout out Sarawi for 6 million because I know him from my own league. He's a good player. He's a very technical player. I don't know how he fits into Lille, but I think he's done alright in the start. I hope he keeps on starting. He didn't in the Champions League, not the league at least. But I wish I could have him in my team, but it didn't fit in with the 5 midfielders I had. But he's just one to look at if he gets something going forward.
Very good. And let's briefly talk about Bundesliga. They've only had 2 matches, so very small sample sizes. But is there anything that's caught your eye with them?
Yeah, I mean the promoted side is top of the league. 6 goals.
Who's that?
Scored none conceded. Heidenheim.
Oh no, they're not promoted.
They've got promoted.
No, they're in the Conference League, mate. I think they were promoted last season. I think last season was their first season.
Oh yeah.
To be fair.
Yeah.
So they've not been in the Bundesliga for long.
They're top of the league with 6 goals scored, 6 points, 6 goals scored, none conceded. But they will not stay there. But yeah, they're playing decent football. In terms of, I mean, all the usual suspects are there. A bit pricey this time around.
Yeah, I mean,
the most pricey league in terms of players.
Yeah.
For a fantasy game, everyone is pricey.
You're gonna have to have a good think about Grimaldo and whether he's worth it. He probably is. If he does put up the numbers he put up last season, he's definitely worth it.
Yeah, I mean, he needed just one. He has an off day in game week 1. Second game week, the 2 wing backs
of the 2 wing backs. Yeah.
You can't go without them. You just can't. Somewhere, I mean, at the start of the season, I was saying that 9.5 is too much for a defender. But now I'm thinking, how the hell do I fit Grimaldo in? How the hell?
Didn't we know that they would be like looking at, for example, the Scottish League? You have Tavernier. He's just that player. Like
13.5, he was, isn't he?
If you're choosing between Rodrigo and you're obviously picking him because he gets defensive points as well.
Yeah. The only thing I can say is once the Champions League starts, what sort of production he has, and how Xabi Alonso protects his 2 wing backs. That remains to be seen. That's the only thing I'm worried about.
How was it in the title winning season? Did they?
So he got over 20 attacking returns, maybe like 23 or something, 24.
So it doesn't really matter if he's benched sometimes because he will make up for it.
Yeah, I mean they were starting for Europe as well.
Sorry,
they were. Yeah?
I'd like to clarify David's question. I thought you meant in terms of attacking returns. Did you mean in terms of minutes?
Yeah.
I think he was nailed. I don't think he got rotated much.
Yeah, I mean, they went to the Europa League final as well. So, yeah, I mean, it as David mentioned a bit earlier as well, it's team dependent. Whether you go Frimpong or Grimaldo, but Grimaldo seems to be the better of the 2 options because Grimaldo seems to have a much more safer way in the way, whether he's taking a shot, whether it Frimpong, one sticks, one doesn't sticks. So, but Grimaldo, it's much more assurance, more so because we have seen him playing that good in Benfica for Benfica in the Champions League as well.
But so, is it like an option to go both? even though they are super expensive.
Good luck. Maybe. I mean,
Look,
maybe, but
you can go
that's
both.
a lot of
but
budget. That's so much budget.
Yeah, you can go both, but you can't fit in their attackers, and you need one of their attackers, especially Christian Words. Joel has gone for Hoffman.
Not
Imagine
anymore.
if he
I
has
sold
gone
him for
for
Olmo now, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in Eurostars, if he had gone for Words in place of Hoffman, he would have been world number 1 right now in terms of this game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you need one of those attackers. So in terms of who to pick, in terms of the defenders, Grimaldo hands off, sticks out, and he's 1 million more, but you have to pay dollars.
Let's put it this way,
$10
David.
For good players.
Haaland plus Kane plus Grimaldo plus Frimpong. Impossible, surely.
No.
Take out Kane then. That's
Maybe.
possible.
Yeah, that makes it possible. Yeah. Take out Rodrigo.
I mean,
don't have any.
You
Don't
need
have
to
any
have
expensive
4.5
mids.
and 5 million players.
You can get away with
You have decent 4.5 million, 5 million who starts every day and who at least starts for. I mean, Monaco's Algerian midfielder. I think he's a 5 million. Ben Shahir or something like that. He seems like a decent option. So there's one budget option that I can give you. 4.5. There are a lot of defenders, but it's the midfield options. 4.5 5 million midfield options. There aren't much. So you need to find that extra 1.1 million, 1.5. So you have to sacrifice Frimpong, mate. Go with Grimaldo.
Yeah.
Boniface hasn't done anything yet. I wonder if he will at some point.
I think he will.
Class strike. I'm sure will be an option at some point this season.
I want him to be an option. I was so excited when I saw that he didn't leave or something.
I've been looking at buying him, but
Hey, I want Patrick Schick to be a decent option. He's 7 million on a 7.5 million. He perfectly solves all the budget issues.
Oh, no. He doesn't get ahead of.
not wild.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Boniface is that guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like, you could get him at some point, I think. But if I didn't plan for Eurostars, I probably would have got him and Frimpong. I'm sure.
Yeah.
At some point, I will.
Anything else from the Bundesliga from the other teams?
Undav seems to be a really decent option for Stuttgart.
The one I like from
Millet.
Stuttgart. Yeah, him.
Yeah, Undav, Millet, and Demirovic. Sorry. So these three can be decent option. I have Mittelstand, Germany left back. He starts. He can be a decent option as well. He's 5 million in the game.
The one that everyone picked at the Euros.
I don't think they've got a good enough defense to justify paying 5 million for any of their defenders. Personally, when you've got players like Militao at that range, the Norman.
I'm saying middle. Yeah, I mean Middlestad. I'm saying because of the attacking return. But yeah, it remains to be seen. And in terms of Leipzig and buying, all the usual suspects are there. We don't need to.
Yeah, let's get back into that when we come to the questions.
One thing before we move on. Now, Simakan has left the league.
Oh, yeah.
Whoever owns Simakan, probably it's time to sell. He has gone to the Saudi.
Cool.
Okay. What was that, David?
I want to move on to questions if we are like.
Let's do that. Let's move on to questions.
Because we have like 2 questions, and one of the questions involves the team we were just talking about.
Okay. I see.
So that was a bit important. Okay, first question, if that's okay. FF Bombardier. Hi guys, Super League question. Do you think Overhaul is a valid boost to use in this set, given the lack of a decent third boost after away days and Eurostars? Thanks. If you ask me, definitely. If your team is bad, go Overhaul. The other 2 are like the ones you need, basically, in my opinion.
If you have not done Away Days 1, Eurostars 2, then Overhaul is probably a good idea to set up those boosts or get out of those boosts.
I would think if you haven't, then you probably need to. If you haven't done the 1 and 2 strategy. If you have, I'm not sure, because you're like in a good place most likely, and you have a good team. But
I might not need to, and I might be. But
is it like, do you have the Serie A boosts
Well,
for the double?
No, you only have Premier League and Bundesliga, and neither of those double.
Okay,
so that's why I'm leaning Park the Bus in that double. But I'm not certain yet, because it does require a little bit of surgery, and like I guess if I want to maximise the Park the Bus, I might make sacrifices elsewhere that I don't want to make. So I don't know.
And it's not like super obvious you will get from Serie A either.
The only Inter and Juventus play each other, so that automatically means their defensive assets aren't great.
So
AC
it's like
Milan
a
are
single
terrible
game
defensively, so it's just Atalanta who have good fixtures. So the long and the short of it is, absolutely, Overhaul is very playable, if not the third best boost.
Yeah, agreed. So yeah, the next and last question. Second question from Erik Nesonstad. Gold assets like Nusa for 5 million and below. Who are they? That's why I wanted to wait. And also the second part. Choose one of Kane, Mbappe, Haaland, rest of the season. But we can get into the first part first. I wanted to hold off about this because Nusa is the one I wanted to talk about.
He has not started a single game, as in he's not started either of the two games. So why is he an option?
Because he should start soon, and when he gets off the bench, he gets assists.
Do you think he will? Do you think he will start?
I think he will. Partly because he got to number 7.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's not a very good reason, but like, why do you give a 7 to people that you're putting in the bench? It's something.
It's not nothing.
It's not nothing. And like, who are the wingers that he has to replace? I don't think it's a very like stiff competition. Baumgartner isn't back yet, I think.
Team. So he played Sesko, Openda, Simmons. Who did he replace? Did he replace Sesko? Yeah, he did.
Yeah, probably. That's the only guy that I'm thinking about him being replacing. Apart from that, I don't think they will replace the central defensive midfielder. I don't think he will replace Haidara or Campbell, because Marco Rose needs those two setups ahead of his defenders.
Sorry, just clocked his nationality.
Yeah, yeah, he's Norwegian. So that's a big part for me, of course. But he's only 5 million still, so you can still have him on the bench if you want to. I'm starting him, of course. So he, from like where he has played before and for a national team especially, he's like an attacking midfielder / winger. So I would assume it's Sesko that takes place. I didn't know that they played 3 at the back. I think they played 4-4-2 at some point. Yeah, against Bochum they played.
Yeah.
So Haidar on the right. So I think that was the one he was replacing. No, actually no. He was replacing Seivold in that game. But I don't think they had all the players back. Maybe.
That's a good point, and I guess maybe did they play 3 at the back because they're playing Leverkusen, and maybe they would revert back to the 4 at the back, which could be good.
Yeah, because they have played. They also played the 4-4-2 against Essen.
Mm-hmm. They played 4 at the back last season, so
yeah. So it could be just a tactical thing that they set up for that because they did it worked. They played the one against Leverkusen, but judging from the first games in last season, you would think they would like revert back to the 4-4-2, and then by looking at that, I would think the chances are better for Nusa to get a start because he's fighting against Haidar and Seivold instead of the other guys.
Personally, I would only consider getting him as your 8th attacker on Overhaul. I wouldn't buy.
He's like a Rodgers type of guy. Yeah. Only that Rodgers is also in the game. Yeah.
I'll keep an eye on it. But yeah, not going to buy.
The problem is the formation for me, because if he's starting a 3 defense formation, then playing Nusa ahead of Sesko makes sense. But the problem is Marco Rose tends to play 2 strikers, whether it's 2 up top or 1 behind. That's his. I mean, he likes to play. I mean, he has coached the likes of Thuram and Player when he was at Mönchengladbach. So he always used to play those two ahead. Behind those two ahead, behind him there was, I think, probably a playmaker as well. So I'm not seeing Nusa starting. Maybe as an impact sub, he will come on and get those points, which I mean, ideally, PSG, the players from PSGs are doing the fun doing these sorts a lot because they're playing 45 minutes and getting 10 plus points. So ideally, that would be a decent option. But in the long run, I'm not seeing what you're seeing, David. But hopefully, I can change.
Yeah, I'm just really hopeful for him as he's a big talent, but like you obviously can't like expect him to start right away, and it depends on how they are like setting up if they're playing thread back and such. But yeah, I'm excited for it. Probably, or I would agree that you shouldn't do like me to have him as one of the starters, but like if you have the money and also if you like want to have a very big set of expensive players, you can punt on it. But yeah,
one disclaimer we can say.
I'm super biased. Have you noticed it?
Whenever he mentions a Norwegian player that's in his team or you get to see, that's because of his nationality and his bias.
It's not often like apart from Holland that you have like Norwegian players like stepping up. So it's more of a hope for me.
It's his love for his country, and that's understandable. So you don't have to do it. But if you do it, then certainly
it sounds like a talent. You just sound like a talent. You sold him to me, David, as a good talent.
Yeah, I was even surprised that we got a question about him, but that got me excited. Like people,
I mean, he's
not just me with my bias. People actually looking at
points. After all, he sold you guys to buying solos at the start of the season, and every one of them has started.
Was that me?
I mean, Solos was the top scorer in La Liga last season. Like, he was on paper a good pick. But
that made more sense than Yusuf, in my opinion. It's I don't understand what he's done wrong now. It's just like a good squad, and rotation. Yeah, why isn't he starting? That's it's weird to me. Like
Simeone.
Is it Alvarez or is it?
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, second part, which of the three would you want to keep? So Haaland, Mbappe, Kane.
Kane sticks me.
I'll say Haaland.
I mean, and probably David said, for listeners' sake, Mbappe.
That's a very political answer.
I mean, realistically, you're not gonna have one of them for the whole season. You're gonna be rotating them around.
Yeah.
But will you have two most likely during the season, or just one?
It's not impossible to have two, but most people will probably have one.
Whenever the double hits up, it keeping to 26 million forwards makes sense. But whenever there is a single game week, 13.5 is enough, I guess.
A lot of it does depend on if Vinicius and Rafinha just continue to justify their prices at 11 and 10. Like, if they suddenly don't justify their price, then there could be a move to two premium forwards. But I don't see any need for that at the moment when you've got Vinicius and Rafinha who are doing well enough.
Yeah, but could it be like from a price point of view, like be good to have two about 12 forwards, so you can like switch Lewandowski. If you have Kane and Haaland, you can switch Mbappe again, like because they are so hard to get to.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah,
especially as it's you time much more money up in this game than other games. For example, fantasy pending, you have like two players above 12. Now in this game you have how many? 5 at least.
6.
Plenty.
You have Salah as well, right?
Yeah. So Salah's 11, I think, but yeah.
Yeah, it's the same category.
Yeah.
So could be it's you have a much more tough time to like decide if you want to spread around like in 6.5 range or like expensive with defenders like compared to having two expensive strikers and like the rest of your team, for example, not able to get Rafinha. So it's exciting because you have like multiple approaches to it and just not like one way to do it. Nice. Yeah, that was all the questions.
Cool.
Thanks for people actually asking Super League questions as well. I was a bit worried it would just be AFL, but yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, good stuff. Cool. teams. Again, we're going in reverse order, so tough. Game week 4. I need to decide whether to roll or get rid of Sorloth this week, because I'm not sure whether to. Basically, I need to decide whether Sorloth is going to become Retigi, or whether I'm going to try and upgrade him for someone a bit more expensive, like a Boniface, like someone around that, or a Churam, or someone around that sort of 9 million price bracket. The problem is, if I do want to go for someone around that bracket, I've got to find some money from somewhere, and I'm just not sure where that comes from. That's why I was talking about like whether I might sell Haaland. So that's what I need to think about. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I need to give that some thought. So yeah, we'll see. Captaincy will most likely be on Haaland. With that home to Brentford fixture, does stand out to me. So yeah, that's mine. David.
Yeah, so our chat today has like convinced me I probably should change from Rodrigo to Mbappe on my Eurostars. So the question is how I get to that, and like I've looked at like two ways of doing that. The first one would be without a hit, because there's 2 game weeks until it. So that would be Rodrigo and Kane to Luis Diaz and Mbappe, which I kind of like. But I also saw that if I wanted to get Retegi, I can get him as well. If I go Szoboszlai instead of Diaz. Well, but that will mean a hit, which I'm not sure if it's worth it for essentially switching Luis Diaz for Retegi, and I'm not sure which one is better. But I at least I get like Retegi in the head of the good fixture run.
No, I think Luis Diaz and the Mbappe combination fits better for the long run.
Okay. Yeah.
Because Luis Diaz has back-to-back 10+ scores. He's the informed guy, apart from Salah from Liverpool.
Mm-hmm.
And with the fixtures coming up, it kind of have a bargain.
You've got Champions League and Chiesa to think about, though. I mean, I think he's still first choice, but just maybe it's
but I think Arne Slot rotates his side not that much. I mean, we see with Feyenoord as well when he was the manager. I mean, he didn't really rotate that much. The likes of Minte, the likes of Santiago Jimenez. So he tends to slightly rotate less, especially at the start of the season, but maybe the later part of the season. So why not take the chances now? Because who knows what the later part of the season, or how will the Champions League pans out. It depends on how the team qualifies. Each team qualifies for the knockouts. Then it will become much more troubling.
So yeah, it excites me a bit, like to have him in my team, because I'm not sure many have like Liverpool attackers. People have Salah, someone, but like I don't think they have the less expensive ones, because you can have Barcelona assets and stuff. But with my I have to like have just one from each team. It's a bit different for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of like that actually. So I may just go Rodrigo to Luis Diaz this week, or the next game week, I guess, and then just get Mbappe in after. Yeah. And I'll just go Haaland captain and Kane vice captain this week, I think.
Nice. Very good. Okie doke. Abhishek.
Yeah, so this is my team. De Gregorio starts in goal. Rom, Balje, Mendes, and Gutierrez. My back four, which will obviously be changed depending on the situation of Mendes. Gutierrez faces Barcelona, although they are at home, but I don't think I will start a player facing Barcelona at this current form. Griezmann, Del Castillo, and Wirtz will be my midfield three. No changes in that. Mbappe, Martinez, and Demirovic will be my front three again. As David mentioned also, and as we were chatting a bit earlier, Luis Diaz is one of the picks that I'm looking forward. Whether I whether I bring him in for Super Zulai remains to be seen. I need to make a decision. If Mendes is out, then I probably will need a defender. Need to do a defender move first before Luis Diaz coming to my team. But yeah, probably those will be my moves. If my priority moves as of right now. In terms of captaincy, Mbappe is the captain. Griezmann is my vice. So hopefully, after game week 5, I will try to look forward towards bringing in more German players because the fixtures really turn up after game week 5. So yeah, that's me.
Nice. Any final words before we wrap this thing up?
Who has the Gaffr website open? Tell them of the league.
Yeah, I
I'm
can
not
make
actually
it.
in the league.
Top 3.
You're not in any leagues actually. You're not
I'm in the
Gaffr
championship.
league.
I'm pretty sure I entered the championship one.
Yeah, but not from the guys on Gaffr things.
Yeah.
I was like looking for a team, but I had to like go to the regular standings, and that's like even better flex than being up there. So, so yeah, in the guys on Gaffr Globetrotters League, the first place is Jaro61. Seems like his name is James. That's the thing I've seen in many of these Super League teams, because they're probably a bit set up a bit quicker. Many people have just their name and team behind.
It's because you have to enter it every time.
Yeah. So he's in third actually in the top of the game.
Yeah.
So he leads. He had he was gaming rank 1 in the game week 2.
Nice. Ooh, 244 minus 4. Lovely.
Yeah, that's insane. So he got 15 plus return, 14 plus return for every player. If you don't include
It's
the
actually my exact team, except Yamal instead of Rafinha and Liao instead of Olmo. Or it was Hoffman actually in game week 2. So that's where those extra points come from. Wow.
Yeah. So that's very, very well done. That with Johnny, second place in fourth, also doing very well. He had a bit okay enough Eurostars with 215. 5 at the back though. That didn't pan out the way he thought, I think. Yeah, and in third, not Drag 21. That's a non-name.
Didn't he win our league last?
Yeah, that could be.
That sounds right. Or maybe you might have won the championship game.
Oh yeah, I think I was that one I made like the Batman thing for. I think maybe.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's doing well as well. He's in. He was game week rank 1 in game week 1 actually, with his 226 away day.
Woohoo! I mean, we have 2 game week rank 1 players in back-to-back weeks.
He was early on Thuram actually, and Bernardo Silva 22 points.
Oh, nice.
That's like find one outlier in his team, and you just like have 18 plus any plus, and then add John McGinn.
Love it.
Oh, that's amazing. I love that. Yeah. Not even going for Rodgers like John McGinn because he likes him, I guess. Yeah. So that's round off for now. And Ronak is in fourth. That's fun as well.
Nice.
Darren.
Yeah, I think he's 9th overall.
Yeah, that's good.
He's doing good. He's doing good.
Yeah, that's it.
Cool. Well, let's call it a day. We've obviously had a bit of a marathon session with 2 episodes. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the Super League content, and yeah, we'll discuss it again at some point, I'm sure. And yeah, thank you everyone. And all that remains to be said is goodbye from me.
Ha det bra.
Namaste from me.